Hey everyone, my name is David from 52 Churches in 52 Weeks. I don't typically do these, but I wanted to make a really quick commentary video. With this spiritual project and all the different type of churches that I attend, one service that has eluded me has been one that features a foot washing service. So I've heard about this in sermons, I've seen pictures of this done online, but never have I actually attended, participated, or experienced getting down on my hands and knees in front of a congregation and then putting my hands on someone else's feet and washing them. To me, it just sounds incredibly humbling, not just for myself, but also for the person that is in the seat whose feet are being washed. It just blows my mind, and it's like, who does that? I don't ever see this advertised. Well, last night, the Kansas City Chiefs defeated the San Francisco 49ers in an overtime thriller to become repeat world champions. And through all the hoopla with the action on the field and all the celebrities in attendance in Sin City, they played a commercial featuring the He Gets Us campaign that advertised Jesus Christ. And with this campaign, they did a commercial last year as well that garnered a lot of controversy within Christian circles. But that reaction immediately evaporated because the Asbury revival went viral and pretty much stole all the headlines. Well, this year, the He Gets Us campaign returned with another commercial, and it features this, almost like this slideshow of various images that look like they're AI generated, but I guess according to their website, this was actually done by a fine arts photographer. And it features all these different people of polar opposite backgrounds, of one side washing the feet of a member of the other side. So for instance, there's an anti-abortion protester washing the feet of a young woman at a family planning clinic. There's another of a police officer washing the feet of a young African-American man. And then there's a third where it features a suburban mom washing the feet of a migrant woman holding a baby. So the ad alludes to the act of what happened after the Last Supper when Jesus Christ washed the feet of his disciples to show his humility. Well, the commercial then finishes with the words, "Jesus didn't teach hate, he washed feet." So when I first saw this, I really liked this commercial. Love your neighbor, serve others, the golden rule of treating others the way that you want to be treated. To me, it just had so many good implications, so much good messaging, despite on things that you may not agree with, like immigration and abortion and just climate change and all that kind of stuff. Well, the funny thing with this commercial is it reminded me of a Facebook collection of images from just a few years ago. I think it was called the Salt and Gold collection, and it would feature Jesus Christ washing the feet of various people as well. So if I remember correctly, it showed images of Jesus washing the feet of Mary, of Eve, of a child, someone holding a rainbow flag, someone holding a Ukraine flag. Another had a Russian soldier that looked a lot like Putin. And then it also had images of people holding up signs that were either pro-vax or no-vax. And it just covered so much. And if I remember correctly, the tagline that used was, "It's not about who's on the seat, it's about who's washing the feet." In light of that, the reaction from many online Christians has resembled that of Travis Kelce's uproar on the sidelines when he was scolding his coach Andy Reid after a big fumble in the first half. Some of the criticisms I've seen is, this is woke Jesus. This is not the biblical Jesus. This message is satanic. 2 Corinthians 11:4. Christians are so lukewarm these days. I've seen another one that basically says, sure, Jesus may have washed people's feet, but he never affirmed their sin. And basically the message from many is that this commercial is affirming people's sin, and Jesus was never about that. On the flip side, a number of people are saying, well, wait a minute, look at what happened in the scriptures. Jesus washed the feet of all 12 of his disciples, including Judas Iscariot. who would later betray him soon after the Last Supper and soon after Jesus washed their feet. So he then goes on to say, "If I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet," essentially giving the practice of feet washing almost as much significance as communion. So like in terms of symbolism, there's a few things going on with this story. So like washing people's feet in households back then, usually that was delegated to a servant. It wasn't the master. So for the Son of God to do it, there was just this huge amount of servitude, but also this huge amount of humility. And the fact that this did happen, it does fit in with the Bible's teachings. But again, because of the overtones with this commercial, it's just creating this uproar that is just very vile to see today. The social media landscape right now is just so disheartening to see. We can't love, we can't unite. It's like the Bible and the passages are used so much like battleship coordinates to rain down Sodom and Gomorrah on anyone that sins, and it's like we're all sinners. And it's like rather than love, we just find all these new ways to hate. And I haven't heard anyone talk about, so much with this commercial about the Good Samaritan and how to treat others and to, have that principle of loving your neighbor. For all of those that are condemning this commercial, I guess my question then is, whose feet do you wash? If it's not those in these images, are we just washing each other's feet? And I think with the message, especially with Jesus washing the disciples' feet, is like he's showing how to be a servant. He is showing how to treat one another. But then on top of that, he's giving this example with your feet to go, wait, what do you do with your feet? You go walk. And the disciples it was almost preparing them after his crucifixion, after his resurrection. You need to get on your feet. You are made clean now. Your feet are clean. Now go out and preach the good news, preach love. And it's so hard to see in today's landscape how this has gone, especially for those who are very firm in their biblical beliefs. To me, it's like, how do we better come together as Jesus did? And how do we love the neighbor? How do we love each other, but then dislike the sin? And if we don't do that, who will? So I would love your comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Feel free to share those below. But until next time, hope you have a good one.